Welcome to the Chaos Multiverse. Jimmy or Chaos in episode 5 of What If. Is anybody else of the same vein that these are getting darker and darker and more depressing and setting up something, I don't even know what. Welcome to the breakdown, everybody. We break down each week's episode. If you want to see the full breakdown in article form, go to Multiverse Direct. I'll put a link in the description. That is our website. You should go bookmark it anyway and check out all the news and everything going up every single day. But we're going to go through this with a fine-tooth comb, go through the entire thing. So here is your spoiler alert for What If episode 5. And let's go. The Marvel Zombies has finally arrived in the What If series. We knew it was coming. It was amazing. I mean, the episode opens with the Bifrost blasting towards Earth, carrying the Hulk with it. Then when you hear the voice of the Watcher telling us that Bruce Banner is heading for Earth to warn the Avengers of Thanos' mission to collect the stones. Just like most of the other What If episodes, it starts off very familiar. But the Watcher tells us when he comes back to Earth, he doesn't recognize it. Now we see a similar scene to the beginning of the Infinity War where Bruce lands in the Sanctum Sanctorium to warn Doctor Strange that Thanos is coming to collect all the Infinity Stones. However, in this reality when he lands, there's nobody there. No Iron Man, no Doctor Strange, no Wong. Bruce exits the building and now wearing a sorcerer's outfit and realizes that New York is empty. So before worrying that he may have been too late, Cole Obsidian and Ebony Maw arrive to collect the Time Stone just like in the Avengers Infinity War. Bruce tries to bring out the Hulk, but the Hulk replies no, just like he did in the original MCU timeline. We then see Wong, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange appear, and they take down the two children of Thanos. However, the Avengers theme slowly turns sinister as the dust settles to show a zombified Tony Stark, Wong, and Doctor Strange. Yeah, so Iron Man raises his gauntlet to shoot Bruce, but the Cloak of Levitation attacks the zombies to protect Banner. So Bruce runs away as a portal opens, showing Wong on the other end, but when he comes through, the cloak grabs Wong and the portal closes around his head, decapitating that version of him as a zombie. Now, this opening scene already shows how gruesome the episode's going to be, regardless of it being PG-13 on Disney, and the now zombified Ebony Maw uses his telepathic powers to suspend Bruce in midair as the zombies close in on him. But Bruce is actually saved. He's saved by thousands of ants that swarm the zombies, tearing the flesh from their bones and killing them. I told you, these are getting dark. But Tony's unaffected by the storm of ants due to his Mark 50 armor, but Wasp appears and kills him in the blast. Then we see Bruce get picked up by Peter Parker in a suit similar to his homecoming suit as he tells Bruce that he's just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, only for Bruce to ask what happened to the neighborhood. So then the Watcher narrates, as he does in every episode, to tell us, the audience, break the fourth wall, that the Nexus event that caused this zombie plague is beginning. Once again, Hope seems to be the center of the story, similar to episode 3 where Hank Pym turned insane when his daughter Hope died. Now the Nexus event was that Janet Van Dyne, whilst in the quantum realm for 30 years, contracted a virus that Hank Pym took back with him on his return to the events of Ant-Man and the Wasp. So when Hank and Janet, now zombies, return from the quantum realm, they attacked Hope and Scott Lang, but only Hope seems to have escaped. We then get a scene of the Avengers, now reformed after the events of Captain America Civil War, and they're attempting to take down the zombies only for them to turn the Avengers into zombies as well, which, the Watcher says, that pretty much sealed humanity's fate. He then points out that once Earth's mightiest heroes joined the infected, that no one stood a chance of stopping the zombies unless they knew the rules. We got a little Zombieland action with your rules here. We then cut to a homemade video that Peter Parker created with rules on how to survive the zombie apocalypse. Like I said, very reminiscent of the popular movie Zombieland, where the main protagonist creates rules to follow in order to stay alive. Peter shows us the first rule, which is always wear long sleeves for extra protection against the zombie bite. Pretty smart. We then see Happy show a demonstration of where it says under the list of skills: driving, coffee, boxing. Now, Happy Hogan is a personal chauffeur to Peter when he went to fight during the events of Civil War, and Happy was seen in boxing in Iron Man 2 and Natasha Romanoff. So these are skills as a reference to those situations. Even Happy's nickname, never actually Happy. He's never happy. He's a callback to when Peter asked Happy why people called him by that name, since he was actually always in a bad mood. So during the demonstration, we see Kurt, one of Scott Lang's friends in the first and second Ant-Man movie, acting as a zombie. Now, under his skills, it says that he is good at committing crime and his knowledge on Slavic folklore is intense. Kurt's an ex-convict, which is why he helped Scott with the security company, and Kurt frequently mentions Baba Yaga, a witch woman in Slavic folklore, which he later calls back in the episode. So the second rule of surviving zombies, Peter shows us, is hygiene, and he explains that less pheromones you give off, less chance there is a zombie is going to smell you. So Peter pulls back a curtain to a shower where Bucky is currently cleaning, and Kurt pretends to sneak attack him. Now Bucky has skills. That includes murder, right? Killer arm, heavy sleeper. Yeah, Bucky used to be known as a Winter Soldier, and it was controlled by Hydra, where he was given that mechanical arm to replace his amputated one. Now these skills call back to his past in Hydra, and even the heavy sleeper skill refers to his sleep in cryostatus, whatever it's called, for years. The heavy sleeper skill is actually quite ironic, as after the events of Infinity War and Endgame, he struggled to sleep due to the flashbacks of his past. We saw that in Falcon and Winter Soldier. The next person we see, Sharon Carter. And her skills include basic spycraft due to her being a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, but one skill she has is eulogies. That's right. It's a callback to Civil War, where she gave a speech during Peggy Carter's funeral, which gave Steve Rogers the inspiration to turn against the government. Peter then tells us the third rule is to aim for the head in order to kill a zombie. And that's probably a reference to THANOS and Mr. Thor, I would assume. The video is then interrupted, and they welcome Bruce to the hideout. We then cut to the zombie hunter Avengers huddling around a beacon from someone who claims to have found a cure. Sharon decodes the beacon and finds out that it's been emanating from Camp Lehigh, where Captain America trained for the Super Soldier program. We then see Happy driving the group to Grand Central Station, but they are attacked by a giant zombie. However, it's just a fake-out jump scare for the audience as Happy enlarges the van, showing it was shrunken down when the zombie appeared. So even though it's dark, we've got some humor. So they then arrive at Grand Central, and they decide to split the team up, but Peter recommends not doing that and asked if Wakanda has horror movies, which is referring to the fact that horror movies usually include a group of people splitting up, and then they are killed one by one. One group attempts to start the train system to get to Camp Lehigh, but they realize they will need the train to start moving in order for power to reach the train. So Happy and Sharon investigate under the station, but Happy gets surprised by a huge flock of birds and starts firing at them with an Iron Man glove. Now, this is the same nanotech glove that Tony used against the Winter Soldier in Civil War when he didn't bring out his entire armor. Happy then suddenly gets shot with a grapple arrow and pulled into darkness. And then Sharon relays the news back to the other heroes as arrows pin her against the wall, and it's Hawkeye and Happy. And guess what? They're both zombies, and they head towards Sharon. We then come back to Bucky, and he's being attacked by a zombie Falcon, meaning zombies start approaching Spider-Man as he attempts to slingshot the train to get it running. They can kill Falcon with the spears, the Wakanda soldiers, severing him in two. It's really gruesome for a PG-13 cartoon, really it is. And then they apologize to Bucky for killing his friend, but Bucky states that he's not sad, and obviously that's a joke, but it also shows us that Bucky and Sam didn't actually bond until after the events of Avengers Endgame. Now, meanwhile, Sharon grabs Happy's hand as he looms over her and fires the repulsor blast into his face, killing him off screen. Dark, dark, dark. So Spider-Man is in ready position to launch the train, but zombies start to approach him, and the Cloak of Levitation arrives just in time once again to save Peter. All the heroes arrive on the train as the brakes are released, and Peter is carried into the train by the cloak. Now, Peter regroups with all the other heroes, and Wasp states how Peter suits the cloak well, which I believe could be a nod to Peter's future use of magic in Spider-Man No Way Home. That's a video for another day. Then Sharon is shown on the train, upset by the fact she had to kill Happy. But she is attacked by a shrouded figure. Then Bucky hears Sharon scream and runs in to find her dead at the hands of a zombie Captain America. The two super soldiers fight as Wasp runs into the train car to see a zombified Sharon in her path, so Hope shrinks inside of Sharon and regrows to kill her. Dark, dark. And as this going, Bucky kills Captain America by severing him horizontally at his torso with his own shield. I mean, come on. It's crazy. It's a callback to the fans disputing whether Bucky or Sam should take the mantle of Captain America, I assume. In the main MCU, Sam takes the shield, but in this reality, Bucky takes the mantle. The rest of the group comes running in, realizes that Hope has been infected, but Peter interrupts and states that Hope is the most important thing in these situations. He's always got the humor. Hope then asks Peter why is he so upbeat even during the end of the world. He replies that he's lost so many people, including his mom, dad, and Uncle Ben, Tony Stark, now Happy. He explains that his Aunt May used to tell him that if he can't smile when lost loved ones can't smile, then he might as well be gone. These are moving words, especially in a cartoon. I mean, it really is. It truly shows Spider-Man's character, and he's lost so much, but he keeps her fighting. It reminds me of Captain America. Not only this, but it's our first mention of Uncle Ben, as well as Peter's parents in the MCU. Now, we haven't heard the MCU version of Uncle Ben's death, but I think we're going to explore that in No Way Home. Kurt comes into the train car with the rest of the heroes and explains that they are out of fuel, but have to cross a sea of zombies. So the heroes try to think of a way to get through the huge zombie horde, and Hope suggests carrying the heroes over, and she even blames herself for the zombie plague due to her obsession with getting her mom back. Hope grows giant size and carries the heroes over as some of the sad music plays over the zombies slowly climbing up to her, and she puts the heroes down at Camp Lehigh and collapses as she tells Peter to smile for her. The heroes then mourn, but realize that zombies are still stationary and aren't trying to attack them. So, Kurt mentions he can feel a dark presence and feels that Baba Yaga is near. Now, Baba Yaga is a witch-like creature in Slavic folklore. However, he's actually setting up the later reveal of Scarlet Witch being a zombie and attacking them later. Vision then jump scares the heroes and reveals that the zombies are at bay due to the Mind Stone. He also tells the heroes that the virus affects the brain, so he could use the Mind Stone to reverse the zombie plague, and shows us Scott Lang, now a head in a jar, but with the zombie virus removed. Scott tells a few jokes, but explains that it is his coping mechanism for traumatic events, and I think it's pretty traumatic when your severed head, is in a jar. The group then realizes they can take the Mind Stone to Wakanda, which has the technology to cure the rest of the world. Bucky goes off to see if he can find some sort of transport to Wakanda. We see a scene very similar to the movie I Am Legend, as well as other zombie movies and games, where Bucky searches in the dark. We hear the voice of T'Challa, once again voiced by Chadwick Boseman, which Bucky follows only to find T'Challa on a bed with one leg gone. He warns Bucky they need to leave immediately as we see Wanda Maximoff, who is now a zombie, start breaking out of her containment. We then cut to the other heroes, and we get the reveal of Vision using T'Challa to feed Wanda to keep her alive. It's sick. It's disgusting. He explains he tried to cure Wanda, but due to her power, he was unable to. We then see Wanda bathed in the glow of her chaos magic appear down a dark hallway as Vision explains that she hasn't eaten in days. She's hungry. Kurt is first killed. The rest of the heroes try to fight off Wanda. Bruce begs Vision for help, and so Vision finally helps him escape with Scott Lang floating out using the cloak of levitation as he jokingly shouts, Wingardium Leviosa, which of course is a reference to the levitation spell in Harry Potter. Then Wanda grabs them, killing people off screen left and right. The heroes leave the building. It collapses onto Wanda. Vision, come on. He was guilty for betraying humanity. He removes the Mind Stone and gives it to Bruce Banner, which kills Vision and leaves him in a similar state as he was at the end of Infinity War. So now with the Mind Stone removed from the zombies, they start their advance and Wanda appears from the ground. Bucky stands in Wanda's way as the hero runs toward the Quadjet, an early model of the classic Quinjet, but Bucky is easily beaten and thrown a long distance, but I don't know if he was actually killed at that moment. Wanda notices the heroes on the Quadjet and attempts to stop them and even bites Bruce, but his arm turns green, showing that the Hulk has protected Bruce from the infection. Bruce tells the remaining heroes he could buy them time to escape before Wanda and the rest of the zombies attack them. Peter tells Bruce not to and explains he's lost too much that day, but Bruce hands Peter the Mind Stone and tells him to avenge them. Now, in the main MCU timeline, Tony Stark knighted Peter as an Avenger during Infinity War, but it seems Bruce is the one to make Peter an official Avenger, which Earth needs. They really do. Bruce runs at the zombies and talks to the Hulk, asking him to be nice for one time and save the day. Then, when the zombies pile onto Bruce, the Hulk is released, fights off Wanda, the infected, gives the heroes time to escape. On their escape, they're almost stopped by a giant zombie wasp, but they manage to escape and they head for Wakanda. So then some time passes and the group are almost there. T'Challa asks Peter if he's okay, as Peter explains that he was almost made an Avenger by Tony Stark, but turned it down. That was during Spider-Man Homecoming, and now all the Avengers are gone. T'Challa tells Peter that his cultured death is not the end. It's a very similar line to what he told Natasha after King T'Chaka died. Yeah, back in Civil War. We then close out with the Watcher telling us that in the darkest of times, humans will give all to save the Earth, which could be a callback to Captain America's speech in Avengers Endgame, where he tells the Avengers to collect the stones and bring everybody back, no matter what it takes. We then have our final scene. It shows us a zombie Thanos waiting in Wakanda with a zombie army and 5 of the 6 Infinity Stones. So this leaves us with a cliffhanger of the heroes arriving in Wakanda with the Mind Stone and Thanos and the rest of the infected attacking them in order to take the last stone. It seems that the zombies are conscious and know how to use spells and tech, so this zombie Thanos could still want to kill half of all life. It was pretty cool to see most of the cast return in this episode with Mark Ruffalo, Paul Rudd. All kinds of them. There were so many. I can only hope that Marvel will revisit this timeline so we can see what happens in the story. And there you have it, my friends. A complete walkthrough and breakdown of What If Episode 5. Let me know where you rank it out of the episodes we've seen so far, and I'll see you soon.